Welcome, welcome, boys. Okay, in this video, I'm going to be addressing one of my earlier videos that is firearms related. I still get quite a bit of comments on there, and they're usually pretty negative. I believe it's probably my most thumbs down video too, and I got a few of them, but they are in reference to that Walther PK380. So the title of this video is, What Happened to the Walther PK380? I have several different bullet points I want to go over. So ignore a majority of these guns here. They're actually for a different video I'm doing. The ones we want to concentrate on is this, as it is a Walther P99. This one, as it is a Walther PPQ. And this one, which is the Walther PPS M2. Both of these are the M2, as you can see with the American style mag releases. Now, in the video in question, there are many people who have watched it, and we're talking about many of the PK380 videos. The ones where I am at the range firing it, and it is constantly failing to eject. And what's happening in those videos are, around fires, the side cycles back, it attempts to cycle forward, but it doesn't go all the way forward into battery. And then when you inspect to see what has happened, you will note the round failed to eject. The extractor failed to pull the empty shell casing by its rim into the extractor to fling it out the side. And then when cycling forward, it did pick up a new case at the top of the magazine, but it could not move into battery into the chamber because that old shell casing that was just fired is still in there, causing a fail to feed at that point. But the primary problem with that gun was the failure to eject the empty shell casing. Now, I get a lot of comments constantly saying, "Oh, you suck. There's nothing wrong with that gun. You obviously don't know anything about firearms. You've obviously never fired a gun before. You need to go kill yourself. The woman in the video sucks too. She also needs to go kill herself. You all have horrible shots. You're all horrible shots. You're all horrible people, etc., etc. Walther is bae." All right, so obviously I'm getting all that from Walther fanboys, which is fine. I mean, as you can see, I do enjoy a good Walther. But there is one missing. You don't see the PK380 here, because what happened to it, you ask? I sold it. I got rid of that thing, and I got $125 for it, which I would have been happy with getting $1 for. So that gun's no longer my problem. That's somebody else's problem. Sucks to be them. Now, I'm also going to address, because in those videos, I'm just shooting. So a lot of people might just be making assumptions. Eddie, I'm doing a video. A lot of people might just be making assumptions that I don't know how to shoot, that's my only gun, blah, 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 even though there's clearly other cards at the end of the video linking to other firearms I've shot. So I know how to shoot. I've been shooting for many, many years, and coincidentally enough, the only gun that fails to eject that had all those malfunctions, the only one out of every gun I've owned, every gun I've ever fired that anyone else has ever owned, is that gun, the PK380. So in that video, and a few of them, I've mentioned as the worst gun, is extremely unreliable, it is dangerous, do not buy one. And then I demonstrate why. And that's because if you ever have to use that in a self-defense situation, you'll get one shot off, and then it's going to jam immediately when it fails to pull that round out. And a lot of people take exception with that, because a lot of people say, well, mine's never had a problem, mine's never had a problem, mine's never had a problem. Okay, I'm not going to go and sit in front of the computer and Google all this for you, but just Google PK380 FTE, enter, and you're going to get Walther forums, other firearms forums, all recalls, all kinds of stuff. And actually, my video about it being horrible is one of the top ones. I noticed it actually showed up on there, and BitChute, and I was like, oh, what do you know? And I'm not the only one with that problem. There's plenty of threads on the forum, plenty of people, and it seems to be roughly like a 50-50 shot. There's it's a coin toss, and if you're going to get a good PK380. And trust me, I wanted to have a good PK380. I thought to myself, man, this gun's great. It's very low recoil. A 380 is not exactly the most powerful round, but it's a pretty small gun, and, you know, I rather enjoyed it. There wasn't much about it I hated, except the fact it was a jam-o-matic and would get you killed if you ever needed it in a self-defense scenario. So I happily got rid of it and replaced my small everyday carry with this or this. Like I said, ignore these guns because they're for a different video. I just have them all here at the moment, but we're concentrating on these. So what I'm addressing are these Walther fanboys and the people who claim that they are just oh so much better than me at shooting, and they have all the XP and I need to level up. So first things first, all the people who say their PK380 is the best. You guys heard of these things called lemons, right? Like, there's actually laws, a lemon law. There's a guy on YouTube, Steve Leto. Good attorney, does lemon law, made a career doing lemon law. So obviously there's enough defective cars out there made by different manufacturers to keep him in business. So that's not saying every single Ford Festiva is a piece of crap. But there are some that are, and those are lemons, and you have to get rid of them. You have to get another car, the manufacturer has to buy it back. Not every Dodge is a piece of crap, but I'm sure some are, and that's why people have to file lemon law cases. Eddie, I'm trying to shoot a video. Alright, so reference the automobiles. I'm sure some people would have nothing but good things to say about their Ford Crown Vic, or their Lincoln Town Car, or their Dodge Challenger, their Chevy Camaro. But I'm sure there were some that weren't torqued to spec, that whoever, they had a new guy that day in a different spot on the line than he was, and you just had some problems. They were defective, and they either could be fixed, or they couldn't. In the case of that particular PK380. So now we're going to go over why it is the gun and not, or everyone who's fired the gun. So, you might be saying, well, Hollywood, just because all your other guns don't malfunction, doesn't mean, you know, maybe they were built in such a way that your absolute horrible posture and horrible grip and horrible ammunition and horrible everything, they're just able to accommodate that. But that one gun wasn't. So you still suck, and it's your fault, not the gun's fault. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and put that claim to bed here. That gun was not a new purchase. That was the only used gun I had ever purchased. I bought it from a friend of mine. He bought that gun for his everyday carry, and he had called me and said, hey, I've got this PK380, and it's got some problems. Like, every time I fire, it fails to eject the round. And so the round's stuck in the chamber, and then when it cycles, the next round hits it, and then, you know, causes a jam, so I have to, you know, pull the magazine out, pull the round, the live round out, or usually it falls out, but then I have to pull the casing out, and then put the new round back in, cycle it, it'll cycle in place, boom, I'll fire it, and then it'll do the same thing. And then I asked all the usual questions. Well, how many rounds have you put through it? Maybe there's a break-in period. What kind of ammunition are you using? Are you sure you're holding the gun firmly in your hand? Because it is an automatic, you know, those are prone to limp wristing, and sometimes limp, you know, even Glocks and things can jam if you limp wrist them. And he said, no, it's nothing like that. You know, I know how to shoot the gun. I've never had this problem with any of my other guns. It's only this gun. And he said, you know, Walther does have a warranty on it. Do you think I should, you know, have it replaced or taken in for service, or what's the deal? And I said, well, you know, if it's a new gun, I would be hesitant to say that there's anything. I've never had that problem with any of my new guns, but some guns have a break-in period, and maybe they're ammunition sensitive. So try different types of ammunition. Fire it. Make sure it's really clean. Fire it. If it does it again still, then I would go ahead and take it back to Walther and see, or at least call them, see what they say. And he did that. Fired other ammunition, super cleaned it, same problem. Took it to Walther. They did something to it. They gave him back to it, FedExed it back to him after however long that took. And then he said, okay, great. And then he told me, you know, I don't really like this gun anyway. You know, all those problems jamming. I don't think I want to carry it. He goes, would you be interested in buying it? And I said, yeah, why not? I'm always looking for another small gun, because at the time, all I had were like full-size Walthers. I had this thing, the 1911, and my 357. You know, that's what I had, and that's what I carried. I didn't have anything small to carry when I was not working. So I went ahead and got that PK380. And then I cleaned it real good, because any gun I get, I like super clean them. I mean, that's like the first thing I do. Clean them, lube them, 2-spec. I took it to the range and fired it. And it was a Jam-O-Matic. It did exactly the same thing he said it did before he took it to Walther and had it serviced. So I'm the one who then did all the research, found all the forums, found everything that they said was wrong with it, and that the main problem was the extractor. Which I don't have that gun to show you where it is, but on this gun, it is very similar. This is your extractor. So if you see in here, there's this little claw-shaped dude, and this is the ejector. So what happens is, this claw is wrapped around the casing while it's in there, while it's in battery. And then after you fire it, and the slide moves back, this claw is holding on to that casing edge, and when it bangs it into here, it goes flying out the side. And then when it goes forward into battery, picks up a new shell and puts it into battery when you go to fire it. So that's essentially what the PK380 was supposed to do. But like I said, what was happening was that claw was losing contact with the rim of the case rim, and once it lost contact, it still went back into battery, or it still went, cycled all the way back, but now the shell casing was hanging in the, half inside the chamber and half not, and the next round would bang into it and then cause the jam. So there was a guy who filed down his extractor, and I filed mine down, and that actually helped. It actually jammed less, but it still jammed. So I went ahead and took it back to Walther, and I thought, well, maybe now that I have it so close into spec, they'll just shave the extractor out a little bit more, get it perfect, and then it'll be good to go. No harm, no foul. Sent it to them. They FedExed it back after a few weeks, and they had completely replaced the entire upper receiver. The whole slide was new, so all its innards were new, but the barrel was the same. Still had the same barrel. And I took it to the range again, fired it, and it kept jamming. I tried all kinds of different ammunition. I shot it. My mom shot it. Katie shot it. We have different people shot. So there's now at least 4 people that have fired that gun, not including anybody who worked at Walther. And every single person experienced the same problem. Now, can we all really be limp-wristing it? Really? Me, my buff friend who owned the gun originally, and 2 dainty women? You could make the argument that maybe 50% of those people could be limp-wristing it, but I don't believe that was the problem. It was right there. It's science. Are you guys science deniers that the casing was failing to eject because the extractor claw could not make contact? And then the more I thought about it, the case itself would move around inside the chamber. So I began to suspect the barrel was probably the problem. It was not within spec, not within tolerance, and the shell casing was able to flop around. And if it flopped around just right, the extractor claw could not maintain contact and would fail to eject. And I do believe that's what the problem was. A new barrel probably would have fixed that, even on the old slide, and probably on the new one. But at that point, I was not going to replace the barrel. I had had enough. I got rid of it. So that's the fate of the PK380. It's gone. I do not have it anymore. This is the one I carry, the PPS. These all 3 are 9mm. And this one, the only problem I had with it, and with any of my Walthers, was the sights were off when I first got it. So if you look at these 2 guns, Eddie, I'm doing something. They're both exactly the same. Like, I didn't have to adjust the sights out of the box. This thing and the PPQ fired perfectly. If you look down the sights, they've never been adjusted. They're perfectly centered. This one, it was perfectly centered, but the sights were off. I kept shooting and missing the target. The group was fine, but it was not centered. So I knew that the problem wasn't me. I wasn't flinching or anything. It was simply the sights were off. So I had to bang the rear sight to the right a bunch. And now as you see, it's off-centered, the rear sight is, but now it is accurate. So this is the gun I carry. I've never had a malfunction with it. So isn't it curious that all the naysayers that say the gun itself wasn't a problem, that it was just me, then why does all the other guns not suffer from that same problem? This gun doesn't. There's many videos of me shooting this thing at the range, you know, qualifying with it. I fired this thing at the range, this thing, this one, that one, that one, that one. None of them have malfunctioned. And many other ones that I've fired too, I just don't have them in this picture. And now we're going to address the people that say, okay, so, well, maybe you just need more training, you suck. Maybe it isn't the gun, maybe the gun's fine, it's just you, all right? So we've addressed the ammunition, we've addressed why I know it's the gun itself, but, you know, there are going to be a few people that say, well, maybe you just need the more training. Maybe it's just a coincidence that you can shoot all the other guns perfectly fine except that one. You just need the training, man. And I just recently got a comment. He's like, you would benefit from some CCW. Now, I'm not sure if he's talking about me or, you know, I'm assuming he's talking about me, the author of the video, as opposed to Katie or somebody else who's in the video. And I would benefit you. I would say, yeah, Katie could probably benefit from some CCW training. However, now this is a photocopy, and it came out like super small because I'm not trying to dox myself, but oh look, it is a photocopy of my concealed carry permit with the number blanked out and any doxing information removed. But I do have one of these. You may be saying, well, how do I know that's really you? Here's my driver's license. Again, anything that'll dox me, you've seen me in the videos, you know what I look like. That's me. That signature matches this signature. We're the same person. You may be saying, well, those classes are pretty weak sauce, son. You could probably benefit from some real training. Okay, so now all you let's see your credentials, everybody in the video, because I would agree with you. You're right. CCW training is pretty weak sauce. And I didn't actually even go through it. Do you want to know why I didn't go through it? Because I have these awesome credentials that say I don't freaking have to. Because I walked right down to the county and said, here are my credentials. Oh, look, the police academy. I completed 42 hours of 2 handgun training. Not 1 handgun, 2 handguns. And they don't just give these out, mind you. Oh, what is this? Shotguns training too? You mean I qualified with long guns? I have some experience there too. 20 hours? Oh, 4 hours of stress combat? So not just firing leisurely at a target, but when you're actually under stress? Oh, and I can actually still hit the freaking target and the gun's not a jam-o-matic? Firearms training? Another 10 hours? Handgun and shotgun skill development, stress combat shooting decisions? Oh, we lost one. We lost one. Oh, you mean to tell me I actually graduated from the academy as well? So that I didn't just take those classes and leave? I actually made it all the way through? Oh. Oh, wait, what's this? What's this? Oh, I got the whole Class A license? Okay, so I got the diploma and my Class A certification. Okay. What else you got, Hollywood? Oh, not just the academy, but from an actual law enforcement agency? Oh, handgun and shotgun night fire? Not just the day, but I actually got night fire training. And I passed. Oh my. And again? Now you might be saying, well, I was looking at the dates on those, Hollywood. That was from a while ago. How do we know you didn't just lose all your skill? You didn't lose all your skill, Hollywood. Okay, I have many other documents, but we're not going to go through them all. And I also have videos of me firing in particular this gun, on the firing line and training and qualifying with it. Plus all the other random videos you have of me just shooting leisurely. So I think if anybody knows how to shoot a gun and maintain their grip, it's going to be me, this guy. So for anyone who says, no, it's not the PK380 because mine works, I would have you see Lemon Law. Because just because yours works doesn't mean somebody else's does. And for everyone saying, well, it's just you, well then how come everyone who's fired the gun has the exact same experience? How come every time the gun gets repaired, it still has those problems? And for everyone saying, you just need more training, if you had more training, the gun would work, Hollywood. How much more training do I need? Let me see your credentials. Let's see how much training you have. Put up your video. Let's see what you got. Let's see it. And for finally, just because they think they're Walther fanboys, well, Walther makes good guns. They would never make a bad gun. Bro, I own 3 Walthers. I know what their quality is supposed to be. And then I own that other one. So I had fun. At one time, I had 4 of them. But one sucked, and I got rid of it. Because it was a lemon, because it was a piece of garbage, it could not be fixed, and I wasn't going to carry it. Because it's dangerous, and it would get you killed if you ever had to use it. This one's not dangerous, it works. This one works, that one works. I would take any of these 3 guns and bet my life on their ability to function. But not that PK380. So, I'm going to leave this as its own standalone video, and if you're watching this before the other ones, you can go back into my firearms playlist and see what other videos the other people are talking about and commenting on, the other PK380 videos. And if you are watching this after one of those other ones, then you would have seen this, because this one I'm just going to insert a little card in the middle of the video somewhere, or maybe throughout the whole video, I don't know, so you can click on it and see before you type your comment, oh no, you just suck, or oh no, there's nothing wrong with that gun, or oh no, you just need more training, or oh, it's just a coincidence, or blah, 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 alright? So we're putting it to bed right now. It's going to be the final video I'm doing on the PK380. And it's not even in this video, because it's freaking gone, because it's a piece of crap, and it got what it deserved. Thanks for watching, boys. Peace.